Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will talk about the very first episode of Minimalist Monday series. So this is going to be the first out of many videos that we are gonna do on Mondays, me and my friend Mateo. But before we begin with the video, if you guys haven't already, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe for more content. So today we will talk about what is a minimalist lifestyle. This is actually one of the first questions that I got when I started this channel. But I feel like it is still a question that people have today because if you type in minimalism into YouTube, you get so many different types of videos. And I think that can be pretty overwhelming for someone who is just starting out. So for me, minimalism isn't really something that you follow or a certain way that your house should look like. For me, minimalism is really a mindset and a way of approaching problems and a way of living that helps you focus on what is important. It helps you live a life by design and not by default. Because when you don't know how to do something, you kind of just go with whatever is happening. You kind of fall into the trap where society tells you what you should be doing, how you should be living, what you should own, what you shouldn't own, how you should spend your time, etc. And then you end up living this life just like everyone else. And you kind of don't have any purpose in what you're doing. You're not even questioning things. You're not even thinking, hey, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I would rather do something else instead. And then you end up doing something that you hate for the majority of your life, and I don't think that is okay. And minimalism teaches you to think for yourself, teaches you to sit down and decide, what do you want out of life? What makes you happy? What doesn't make you happy? And then you start removing things in your life that distract you from that goal. So for me, minimalism is all about living with intention, and it's something that is super personal. There is no right or wrong way to do it. For example, I decided that I wanted to move into a van, and that's what I did. But for you, maybe minimalism means that you decide to buy less stuff, but you're still living in a normal apartment or house. Maybe minimalism for you means that you want to travel the world and see new places and meet new people. That's also fine. Maybe minimalism for you means that you want to spend more time with family and friends and less time on social media. Whatever that thing is that helps you live a life by design and not by default is your minimalist lifestyle. I think that minimalism really begins with you understanding yourself, knowing what is important to you, what is not important to you. So if you want to begin with minimalism, I think the first step is self-reflection. Ask yourself, why do you want to be minimalist? What do you hope to gain from this experience? Do you want to save money? Do you want to save space? Do you want to save time? Or do you want to be more in tune with yourself? Once you figured out that why and you figured out that direction that you want to go into, then you can start implementing the principles of minimalism into your life. One of the most popular principles of minimalism is the idea of the 20-20 rule. So this rule states that if you haven't used an item within 20 months, you haven't needed it within 20 months, you probably don't need it in your life anymore. And you can apply this to anything in your life, not just physical items. If there are projects that you haven't worked on within 20 months, maybe those projects aren't for you anymore. If there are hobbies that you haven't done in a long time, maybe it's time to let go of them. And once you start applying this to different areas of your life, you'll start to see that you've been holding on to a lot of things, whether that be physical items, emotions, memories, experiences, ideas, thoughts, people, jobs, anything. And you realize that you don't actually need some of these things to be happy and to live your life. Another principle of minimalism that I like to use is called eat the frog. And basically this means that you want to tackle the hardest task in your day first thing in the morning so that you do unprocrastinate it. So for me, I get up at 5 a.m. and by 6 a.m. I'm already working. And the first thing that I always do in the morning is work on my hardest task. So usually that's filming a video. And I always get it done first thing in the morning so that I do keep postponing it. And then once that task is complete, I can relax for the rest of the day. The next principle is called auto-reject. And essentially, this means that you don't need to say yes to every single opportunity that comes your way. Just because something sounds exciting or just because other people are doing it, it doesn't mean you have to say yes to it. You should ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Does this align with my values? Is this something that I actually want to do? And if the answer is no, then you can auto-reject it. And I think that this is such a hard thing for many people to do because a lot of us are raised to think that saying no is rude. Saying no makes you come off as a bad person. But no, it doesn't. You should say no to things so you can focus on what is important to you. The next principle is called single purpose. And basically this means that you want to have one reason for doing something. You want to have one reason for buying something, one reason for wearing something, one reason for eating something, one reason for watching something, one reason for reading something. And you want to make sure that everything that you do in your life aligns with your overall goal. So if you want to be a musician and you're spending all your time playing video games, then playing video games doesn't align with your overall goal of becoming a musician. Or if you want to become a writer and you were spending all your time scrolling on social media, then scrolling on social media doesn't align with your overall goal. So you really want to make sure that every activity that you're doing has a purpose and that purpose should align with your main goal. The next principle is one that I made up and it's called delayed gratification. And basically this means that you want to not delay small pleasures now in order to enjoy bigger pleasures later. So if you really want to get into that ice cream right now, but you know that you have a dentist appointment in 2 weeks and you don't want to ruin your ice cream, then you're going to delay that small pleasure now in order to enjoy a bigger pleasure later. And I think that this is a great principle because a lot of things in our life are based on delayed gratification. Like the fact that we study now in school so that we can have better jobs later. The fact that we exercise now so that we can have better health later. We read books now so that we can gain knowledge that will help us later in life. So I think delayed gratification is a really important principle to understand, and it as something that separates winners from losers. And the last principle that I want to talk about today is one that I also created and is called radical acceptance. And essentially this means accepting things as they are and not as you wish they were. A lot of people spend their entire lives wishing that things were different. Wishing that they had more money, wishing that they had a different family, wishing that they were skinnier, taller, smarter, prettier. And I think that this is a waste of life because things are how they are for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. And instead of focusing on how you wish things were different, you should focus on accepting things as they are and making the best out of your situation. So those are the principles that I use in my daily life. If you guys want me to make a more in-depth video on any of these principles, let me know down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye.